Let's move on to Jags Titans. A shout out to our Connor Mack, who put out his best bet play of the day article on odds.com and had the Jags to take care of business, and they win outright. It should have been on my card, should have been on our card, Bebsy. We talked about not trusting Phillip Rivers, and I guess the problem was we didn't trust the Jags, but let's talk about the guys that came through for the first off. Minshew, 19 of 20, 173 yards, no turnovers. They get rid of Fournette, Ngakoue, Ronnie Harrison 2 weeks before the opener. Undrafted rookie James Robinson goes for 90, all totaled, 62 on the ground. He became the first undrafted rookie running back in 30 years to start week 1. C.J. Henderson had an interception. So their first-round pick, C.J. Henderson had an interception. Kaylavon Chason almost had one too. They both look great. And the Titans did just enough to squeak out a 16-14 win over the Broncos. The Sharps were all over the Broncos, and they were fortunate that Gostkowski is no longer that Hall of Fame kicker that we remember from the Patriots. Unbelievable. The Patriots go 8 for 18 on field goals last year. 44.4% on field goals last year, and then it's just that reoccurring nightmare with Gostkowski out there. Man, so the last Titans or Oilers kicker to miss 3 field goals and extra point was Skip Butler, 1977. Jaguars, Titans. Let's see what we're looking at from a market perspective. Tennessee opens up at minus 11, and it's going down fast. Minus 9s, minus 8.5s. This total's gone from 43 to 42. Jaguars, Titans. Should Titans be this big of a favorite, Pepsi?
No, Titans should not be this big of a favorite, and that's not my reaction to Jacksonville in week 1. That's my reaction to just the way the Titans play teams. Titans play good enough to beat people. They don't pound people into the dust. They ride Derrick Henry. They make sure they play a solid, tight game, and they don't blow teams out. This is a huge, huge spread to throw at a Jacksonville team that, they showed week 1. They're not just going to get tossed around. They put up points against a talented Colts defense. I don't think they're going to catch anybody by surprise now. I think maybe that had a little bit to do with it. I think it had more to do with the fact that Phillip Rivers looks like he can't throw a ball at all anymore. But I still think this is too high. Like,
has to be.
Yeah, look, Tennessee, I don't know. They barely beat a very banged up Broncos team that I'm still not sold on the Broncos being a good team, especially without Von Miller and Cortland Sutton. So this is a huge spread. I think this is an easy take on Jacksonville. I said this a couple of days ago. Beware the man who has nothing to lose, and Minshew has nothing to lose. Like, he is literally just playing, having fun out there. He's the least stressed out quarterback in the NFL right now, and it showed on Sunday.
Gerald Jones says Tennessee by this margin can't do it. This is not a team that's ever going to win by margin, is it?
No, they just don't play that way. They don't load up the score. They run that ball hard, and Tannehill's not a guy who can torch many defenses. So, this is not an overreaction to Jacksonville playing the way they did in week 1. This has more to do with Tennessee for me, and just the fact that Jacksonville's got nothing to lose. This is an easy play for me. I think I'm on Jacksonville for this.
I want to jump on them too. Now, are we overreacting here? Birdie says no bet for me. Indy outgained them by almost 200 yards. Titans blew out the Jags last year. Jags are my team. No bet, but I lean Titans.
I appreciate what Birdie's saying, and he's made some good comments so far. I just don't believe in Tennessee blowing them out right now. They looked sluggish to me on Monday night. And yeah, it's just too big of a margin for me. I believe Tennessee wins this game. I just don't think they win it by 10.
Fox Bet gave you the best line on the Giants. They were the only ones. Was that the Giants? Sorry, the Falcons, excuse me. The Falcons gave you +6 and -118. Here they give you the worst line. They've already moved it to 8. If you want a 9.5, there's only one available, and it's at BetMGM. Do you want the Jaguars +9.5 at BetMGM?
Yeah, I think I do.
+9.5. That's a very important number. It's still 9 right now at Bet365, and I'm going to take it. But getting the 9.5, getting that hook on top of the 9 is very, very important. So that's at BetMGM, an official play for Bebsy on the Jaguars +9.5 at BetMGM. Again, Bebsy is 5-0 to start the year, and he's made a move on the Falcons and made a move on the Jaguars. And I'm going to come along on the Jaguars. I won't get your 9.5. And I'm just going to get this 9. Again, just like I do with all sports. And look, I'm going to bet this at the end of the night. And if it's on at 9, then I don't get it at 9. You guys know how I run it. And I'm going to get what I bet it at. And I hope that's at 9. We'll see. I'm with the Jaguars. I think this is the play. Gerald Jones has it at 8. And Al Surik says, stop talking about Gostkowski, please. Yes, we will. And Bernie says, I get what Bebsy is saying and don't disagree. But last point, Jags got a massive win last week, and they won't be going 0-16. Letdown spot this week. And Jay Pete says, exactly, Tennessee looked awful, and they have kicker issues. This is just too many points. I don't see Tannehill as a quarterback or this offense, an offense that's going to just blow teams out. And I guess it comes down to that.
I mean, I could also see Tennessee being up by a lot and then Minshew throwing up some garbage minute touchdowns to close this gap. I just think there's too many chances for Jacksonville to stay inside of 10.
Agreed. All right, we are on the board. Oh, but let's just quickly go back. You said that you had – I think you mentioned this total here. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but this spot right now went from 43 and it's dropping to 42.5 or 42. You have a feel on this total?
No, I think I'd lay off that total. It's low right where it should be. I don't see an obvious play there.